Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Massachusetts. Beautiful fall day. I hope it's a great day where you are too. Yesterday I woke up to pouring rain, but today it's glorious, so I will take it. So today is also Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. And we are going to get into that in just a second. But before I forget, because I will forget this, we are going into a free shipping special starting tomorrow on orders of $75 or more. And that will run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so make sure if you have anything on your wish list that you take advantage of that. Stampin' Up! Does not run free shipping specials very frequently. So it is a great time to get things on your wish list. And your order just needs to be over $75. Make sure, though, when you sign in, please make sure that you're opted into Stampin' Rewards, because that is another way that Stampin' Up! Rewards you. All you need to do is go into your profile, into the settings, look for Stampin' Rewards, and make sure you are opted in. Now, if you've already been getting rewards and you can see them on your checkout, no worries, you are opted in. But if you're wondering what Stampin' Rewards are, make sure that you are opted in. And you need to check out when you're signed into your account. Do not check out as a guest, because that also, if you check out as a guest, it does not record your Stampin' Rewards. It is not connected to your account, and therefore you won't be rewarded rewards. So please make sure that you are opted in. It is a free program, so I'm just saying this to benefit you. If you don't want the rewards, it's 10% back. So whatever you spend, say you spend $100, you're going to get $10 that you can use on a future order. And the rewards don't expire for a full year. So even if you're not a frequent orderer, maybe you only order a few times a year, those rewards are going to be there when you place your order in a few months. So it's not like Kohl's, where you have to place your order within the next 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks, or whatever it is, to get your rewards. There is lots of time. So it does, there's nothing to lose. If you don't use them, you don't use them, but it would be nice. I always like getting a little bit money off on my orders, so don't forget to do that. All right, let's jump in with Casing Tuesday. Today's card is from the same page in the catalog as last week's card, and they do have some similarities, but let's take a little look here. Here is the card, and you can see on this particular card, the designer series of paper in the background, and the ones in the foreground, they have very similar colors to them, so they blend really well together. I love the way that they've layered this designer series paper. This might not work with all types of designer series paper, but there's different ways to create this card if we just kind of look at the shapes of the card. And here is a sketch to kind of give you an idea. And so when you see it like this, you can see just with the gray shapes, you can see how you could build your card and make it look very different from the card that was the original card. And this card also, the sketch also has dimensions on it, so that if you're not familiar with how big things should be, you can just cut yourself pieces up to the side and kind of work with it. I love doing jigsaw puzzles, so I kind of look at this as like a puzzle that I'm putting together. And I usually, when I'm putting together a card puzzle like this, I usually start with the bundle to kind of see what is going to look good as my focal point. Like sometimes a certain sketch won't work well with a certain bundle. I mean, there's probably always a way to make it fit, but in this case, there's easier ways. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, what bundle would this particular card sketch work well with? And then the next thing I look for is my paper. What paper am I going to use? I almost always use paper on my cards, just because it gives me a nice color base. I try and pick a color that has a few different colors in it so that I can pull those colors from there to have my other layers and my card base. So let's take a look. You know what? I'm gonna hold up my card. So here's my card today. So I started off, okay, I'm going to use, instead of a circle, I'm going to use my snowflake from the Delicate Pines bundle. And then I pulled my paper, which often a bundle will also come with a paper. So that paper is from the same suite. It's the Elegant Pine. Oh, moving my card around. Elegant Pine. I'm going to move these out too. This is from the Elegant Pine Snowflakes Designer Series paper. And you can see that even though the snowflakes are typically white, in the background here you can see snowflakes, and they are made out of pine boughs. And so is the foliage of this snowflake, like the crystal structure is little pines. So this is a different kind of take on a snowflake. So once I have the what I'm going to use as my focal point, the Designer Series paper, then I start to pull from there. And two of the colors in here, actually three of them, Secret Sea is the background in this paper. So I thought that would make a good card base. Then I pulled Shaded Spruce and Cherry Cobbler out of there for the banners. And then this snowflake right here, I pulled right from the paper. Today, though, I think we're going to have fun and we're going to stamp a snowflake, because last night I was in a rush. I'm like, okay, how can I build the snowflake faster? I just cut it right out of the Designer Series paper. So that's a neat way. And then you pick a greeting. I usually put a greeting on the front of the card. So here's my greeting. It's not in the exact same spot as the original card, but that's okay. And then an embellishment. And I just chose to use the same embellishment that comes with the suite. These are pulling these out. These are the faceted snowflakes. These are really pretty. They've got 6 little points, and they come in, I don't know if they say the colors, but I think they kind of match this paper because it comes with a sweet Cherry Cobbler, Shaded Spruce, I think are kind of the base colors in here. So it works very well with the card. So that's the way I tend to build the card. I choose the focal point, the paper, then I start pulling from the paper, and then I start building my card. So that's a really easy way to build a card. And you can do that with almost any card in the catalog. Pick a card, and then you can create another card from it. That's the whole premise of Casing Tuesday and how we build cards. So I'm going to show you actually how I made this card, because there's always some tricks and tips that I have along the way, even with the most basic cards. So we will be doing that right now. Also wanted to remind you that we do have a starter kit special going on for the month of October, and quite a few of you have taken me up on this. So I'm not sure how many team members. I think we're up to about 10 new team members on our team, on our Bee Stampers team. So that's awesome and amazing. The starter kit right now, you have two options, but there's a $35 starter kit, and you get $125 worth of product for that kit. And then it's your choice of product, the $125, and you only pay $35. If you have tax in your state, you will pay tax. So it'll be $35 plus tax. The shipping's free on the starter kit. So while it's great, I'm glad that they're offering a free shipping special tomorrow for 3 days. But the starter kit always comes with free shipping. So this is still the best deal. If you have a couple of bundles on your wish list, you could get them with the starter kit. So just compare and contrast that. Now, if you have a lot of things that you want to get that go over the $125 mark, you can either, there's actually kind of maybe a third option, but for the starter kit there's only two. But if you want to put more things on your starter kit, you could get the $99 starter kit and you get $189 worth of products on the starter kit. Both kits have $90 worth of free product in it, so either way you choose, you get $90 worth of product. But what I was saying is, if you had more than $125, you could theoretically wait and use those extra items and use them for your first order, because once you get the starter kit, your orders are you get a 20% discount. So then you could start ordering and using your discount. So you can look at it both ways. All right, I just thought I would mention that. I'm going to mention it all October because it is such a good deal. I think it's probably the best starter kit offer we've ever had. All right, let's jump in, and I'm going to zoom in. I hate the perimeter of my desk because everything gets from the center out, it gets messier. So let's swip over to my messy desk. Let's take a quick look at the Delicate Pines bundle. So this is the stamp set right here, and you can see everything is kind of pine bough inspired. So the snowflakes and all the other things that go with it. And then here are the very many dies that go with it. So there's lots of different ways to build the snowflakes, whether you're stamping and cutting out outlines, or whether you want to do very delicate die cutting with these pine boughs. You can absolutely do that. So the choice is yours. All right, I'm gonna pop this in here. Oh, I did want to show you. So I did stamp one of these snowflakes earlier, and I thought I would just, we're not going to do this today because I think we're going to layer up the snowflake, but when you cut the snowflake, it cuts out the outside, but then you could use one of these dies right here and center it, and then you can cut out these little holes in the center, so you can kind of make a more lacy sort of snowflake if you wish, rather than just a big die cut one. But I think today we're going to layer up our snowflake, and we'll see how that looks. But I wanted to show you the snowflake just so you could see that you could also do kind of some detail work in the center. All right, let's pop those away for the moment. I'll shove everything to the side here. Okay, so we're going to start off with our card base, and I told you already this is Secret C, and this is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then I scored this in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark, and then you just need to fold it, and the bone folder goes down like that. Then we'll need a piece of the Designer Series paper. Now, isn't this just gorgeous? This is the Elegant Pine Snowflakes paper. And this is one of the patterns. And then this is the back side. This is where I cut my snowflake out of. You can see that right there. And then there's the back side, very pretty back side to that one. Here are absolutely ginormous snowflakes, and then we've kind of got like a frost on the back side. Here is kind of some smaller pine bows, and then a different color of frost, kind of frost on a window kind of pattern. This is another one of the dark patterns, but it's different from the one that I've used today. And then you've got these green snowflakes on the background. Okay, here's my second sheet. Okay, and then we've got this pattern. This, I think you could also, die cut some of these here, like the pine cones. I think we have a pine cone die. Yeah, we do. So you can see right here, you can cut out the pine cones out of here, And then if you wanted to, I think like this could do that pine branch here. So some of these do cut out with the dies here. Then the back side of this paper is another color, this one's a green kind of frost pattern. I think that's the last pattern, because then we're back to the one that I use. So very pretty paper, and it's a little bit different because we often do like blue snowflakes, and now there is blue on here, but it's like a dark blue and greens, so it very much leans heavily into the greens. So this piece of Designer Series paper I've cut is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that's just going to leave you a little border around the edges, and we're just gonna, my glue is almost done. I've been making my September thank you cards, and I have been using a lot of glue, obviously. I was making 80 cards. That's some team cards and some thank you cards. So it's a lot of cards I'm making right now. I'm doing a big batch of them. Okay, so we've got kind of our base set. We are going to need to do some die cutting. I'm gonna stamp first, and then we're gonna die cut, I think. Or we could die cut first. I'm always there. It's a debate. If you're doing a lot, sometimes it's easier to do the die cutting first and then the stamping, even though you might be a teeny tiny bit off. Let's just go ahead and die cut first, and then we'll stamp, because we've got a lot of little pieces to die cut. Okay, we're gonna bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm gonna zoom out just a teensy tiny bit, and I'm gonna bring in my, oh, sorry, that's loud, base platform number 1, my thin die adapter, which is the number 2 plate, and then we're going to put down 1 cutting plate on the bottom. These used to be completely clear. They've been used a lot. So I'm going to put that down, and we're going to cut some snowflake pieces. And I think we're going to start off with the big snowflake here. Can this fit this way? Yes it can. Okay, good. And we're going to cut this one. And I think we're even going to cut this one. Let's cut one of these too, just for the fun of it. We'll see which ones we use. This one's interesting. Let's cut one of these too, because we're going to cut and then we're going to stamp on top of them, okay? So let's just go ahead and do a round with all of these shapes, and we'll see what we got. When you do this die cutting first, then we just have to make sure we're very well centered on all of these. We might have to redo some of them. We'll see. We'll see what we use. And I'm going to put my dies back on. Oh, this one? Okay. I was going to say that one sticks to the paper, but it doesn't. That's good. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Oh, and before we put this away, so I'll just stack that aside for a second. We're also going to cut our banners. The way I'm going to do this is I have 2 different pieces. I have a shaded spruce piece that's 1 3/4 by 5 inches, and I have a cherry cobbler piece that is 4 5/8 by 1 3/4. Both of them are 1 3/4 inches wide. And I thought it would be fun to create banners, so I'm going to use this banner right here, And I want to create a long banner. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to feed this through here like this. You want this part of the banner to be on top of your cardstock. And then I'm just going to retract it a little bit so that my edge of my cardstock lands kind of right down at the bottom of the banner. We're going to take, so top, and then it comes through and this piece is on top like that. And then we're just going to run this through just so you feel pressure, and then we're going to back up. Because all I want to do is cut this bottom piece into a banner. So now I have a long banner. And then we're going to do the same thing with our shaded spruce piece. We're going to just have that bottom portion cut. So just kind of line that up, bring it down to the bottom. Okay. And then again, we're just going to go through until I feel that pressure. I know it's caught the die, and then I'm just going to back up. I just want that bottom part cut. And there we go. We've got a perfectly intact long die without any other marks or cuts into it. All right. It's a different way to get like different sizes of those banners cut out. And I didn't show the party banners. Or maybe I did, but these are the party banners. Earlier this, I think sometime in the summer, I made some boxes out of these. So these are very cool die set to have. They're a little larger than normal. You can create like a hanging banner with them, but you can also use them on your cards. Even though some of these are really large, you can absolutely use them on cards. So we are going to do that right now. We're going to bring back in our card base and our two banners. So we're going to take our cherry cobbler one and I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, somewhere around there from the side, and I'm going to line that right up with the top and just make sure that it looks straight. And then we'll take the next one, the shaded spruce one, and we'll just kind of lay it maybe over about 1/2 inch. So you have like about 1/2 inch of that cherry cobbler one showing. Okay, so now we just need a snowflake and a greeting. So let's bring these ones back in. We need to do something with these guys. So you know what I need to do? I need to swivel my blinds. Just hold on. Swivel. So that I have a little bit right here, but for the most part, I've eradicated the sunshine. I love sunshine, don't get me wrong, but when it lands on my desk and it causes chaos and confusion, that's not the best. So we're going to take, I think we're going to use two colors. We're going to use shaded spruce, and I'm going to just ink this up. This snowflake fits on an E-block, and when you have a big stamp like this, it's easier to grab it. There's little finger holds on your ink pads. It's easier just to grab it and do this. So, the option always is you can die cut. Hopefully my head's not going to be in the way. You can die cut and then stamp, or you can stamp and then die cut. And I'm opting to live dangerously. Let's see if I got this fairly straight. You need to kind of have your head right over top, Okay, let's see how well I did. Oh, not too bad at all for that one. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave that for a second. We're gonna layer up, but I wanted to tell you that if you just wanted to do a one layer snowflake, you could take this stamp and you can rotate it and also stamp it in green. Actually, you know what? Or we could stamp it in red if you wanted to. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna cover this up, but I just want to show you that that's something that you could absolutely do. So if you didn't want to do like a multiple layer snowflake and die cut a whole bunch, you just take this, and I like to find the one berry that's lined up with the line right here, and then I like to find that same one berry that will kind of match over top the 3 green berries, and then you just hover over top, and there you go. Like now you have like a 2-tone snowflake. You could go ahead and now just put like an embellishment on top of there. I just want to show you. Let's just kind of do this. So, you know, you would have kind of a similar card. This is the paper, and this is what I just stamped. So it's nice to have the paper for quick cards, but if you want to get like longevity out of your bundle, I would definitely say get the dies and the stamp set so you can create snowflakes forever and ever and ever. Just as long as you have the stamp, right? And it looks pretty good. And once you get a little like a little dot on top of there, that's cute. But since I matched up, I don't know what I did. I got a little bit of wet on there. I don't know what I did. Oh, that's annoying. But my cardstock bled a little bit here because I got something wet on there. Okay, so you can see though that even without an embellishment in the center, everything lined up. So that is pretty cool, right? So okay, we're just gonna go with it, and I'll deal with the imperfect snowflake later. But you can get what I mean. You know, I did that last night too. I know what it probably was. I cleaned my stamp and I had a little bit of water droplets on here. That's what it was. My chamois, which I have off to the side right here. Here's my chamois. This is a little wet, a little bit too wet maybe. So when I cleaned it, that's what's going on. I was like, why am I having problems here this morning? Okay, so if we're gonna layer this up though, if we wanna kind of build it up and do something a little different, we can do that. And we can take this snowflake here and then this stamp. And I'm gonna go in with Cherry Cobbler on this one because I wanna kind of alternate colors. So again, Living Dangerously, and I'm just kind of moving this around so I can kind of see the edges and just trying to align it somewhat center. The thing with this is, this is kind of faded out. Thing is, even if you get this like not dead center on the snowflake, there's so much going on here that I don't think it's going to actually matter. So here is my next snowflake. Let's see if I want to see. We're gonna try this one next. Clean that off, and then we'll take this one. This one's gonna be green. I'm going to hover over here. Got that one just a teeny tiny bit off, but that's okay. This way I can kind of like lift it up, and then I've got this little tiny one in the center. That is going to drive me crazy. It is. I might have to redo that snowflake. Okay. And then we've got like kind of a third one or fourth one. So this one I think would go best with this particular one because it's kind of got the kind of those, you know, those pine needles that are kind of clumped together more. That's that one. So I'm going to leave this one out. I kind of wanted to see what that would look like. Okay, I want to redo this one. Okay. Normally I wouldn't reduce, but this is kind of like my focal point. So let's stamp and then die cut this one. I'm going to take this. Let's put this on here. Yeah, because that just kind of makes me sad. But I could use maybe some of the pine boughs off of there to create something else, like a greenery sprig or something. So, I mean, you can reuse things. It's just, you know, kind of the focal point. I don't know. I just kind of want to make sure that it looks good. So we're going to go back here and we're going to come here. And where did my die go? Here it is. We're going to make sure this is centered on here. So this is option number 2. You can stamp and then you can die cut. But then when you do this, you have to make sure your die is lined up here. When you're stamping on top of a done snowflake, then it's like a different kind of centering. So either when you're centering, but if you're cutting a ton of snowflakes, then I kind of feel like this die cutting and then stamping might be easier. Okay, not too bad. Now let's just not get that one wet. So you can see you can watercolor with our inks. All right, let's bring this in. The old snowflake is out. Since we're covering this up, I'm not going to stamp here, but just remember, you can, you know, stamp in here, and this could be a 1-layer snowflake. Okay, then we're going to bring this one in here. We're going to decide, do we go like this? And then this one's going to kind of come off center like this. And then we're going to put this one on top. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I'm just going to put maybe 3 on this one. And we're just going to line that up like that. And then this one, I think we're going to need mini dimensionals. We'll just put, oh, we could put one big one in the center. We could do that. There we go. Put that in the center. And then we'll put like a really teeny tiny one in the center of this. So since I'm building this snowflake up higher, I would probably recommend, I'm going to do it like that or do it like that. I would probably recommend, because I'm building this up quite high, this might not be the best mailed card, but I know it would squish down, right? Just as long as it's got something over top to kind of help squish it down. So it could, I mean, it could go through the mail. It just might get a little bit lumpy for just one postage stamp. You'll have to check at the post office. Okay, this is our original card. This is this card. And so I've got this one here, and we can go ahead. I put this up on dimensionals, but since I've got this so lifted up with other dimensionals, I'm not going to lift the base snowflake up off the card. But you could do that too, especially if you're going to do this as an in-person card, then it doesn't matter how thick the card gets. So we're just going to go ahead and glue this kind of near the top. Kind of got it centered here. Let's do the greeting. So, okay, I did cut this one down. So here is a banner, and I cut it with the Stylish Shapes dies. I use this one right here. We're going to cut this one down. I think I did that last week as well. So I've got my banner here. I'm going to use green ink, shaded spruce. You could also use cherry cobbler. And I'm just going to stamp this one a little bit towards the left side. And then we're going to cut it down just a teeny tiny bit with our die cutting machine. Put this off to the side. Come here. All right, so the way I do this, kind of the same thing as when I did the banner, but I'm not going to feed this through. I'm just going to kind of lay this on top of here and kind of get it into the correct grooves right there. And then we're going to come in with our second cutting plate. And we're just going to go in and cut like that. So this one I just laid on top. The other one, I guess you could have laid it on top too. But with the banners, if you feed it through, it helps to kind of align it so it stays aligned on that long piece. This one, you couldn't feed it through here because it's got that extra stitching on the edge. But that does shorten it. So you can make things longer and you can make things shorter. All right, let's move this out of the way. Bring back both of our cards. And I'm going to glue this down here at the bottom. Down here. Okay. Like that. All right, and then we're going to bring in our little snowflakes, or little faceted snowflakes. These are like rhinestones, but in like little snowflake shapes. They are so cute. I'm going to use a green one this time because here we left off with green on the outside, but here the last thing we see is red or cherry cobbler. And so to contrast, we're going to do green up at the top there. So that's how that goes. I do want to finish the inside. I want to show you how I did that, and I forgot to cut my inside piece. So let's just grab a piece of cardstock. Real quick. The inside finishing is pretty easy. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so this is 5 inches. So I want the same kind of space around the whole outside. So I'm going to do 5 by 3 3/4 inches. Put that away. And what we're going to do, we're going to take two things we haven't used yet. We're going to use this pine bough, and we're going to use this little pine cone. We're going to use two colors, shaded spruce and pecan pie. We're going to start off with shaded spruce. And it would be great. I don't know. I'm going to peek. I'm not going to show you what I've done. I'm going to peek if I... Okay, no, I definitely need a little... I have to remember how I did it. Real quick. So we're just going to take a little piece of scrap paper to protect our work surface. And I'm going to ink this up in shaded spruce, and we're going to just kind of come swooping off like that at the bottom, and we're going to do the same on the diagonal up at the top. Just kind of have it just come off just a teeny tiny bit, right? Two little pine boughs, and then I can get rid of this and grab the pecan pie. These snowflakes are just so easy to just kind of add right there. See? And then I'm going to just turn this around, and this one's going to kind of come from the top. So that is how simple it is to create an inside with stamping. And it just took a minute. Very easy. And it just adds a little something to the inside of the card. And then with that secret sea background, that's yet another color, so it's very nice. And then we'll just center this on here. All right, and so I did the same thing here with this inside here. So it's just, you know, we can finish off our insides of the cards too. Also, you could use this on your envelope flap or on the front of your card, the front of your envelope if you have time. So that's always a nice thing too. And we've got our two different snowflakes. And remember this one that I got water on? This one's really pretty too. And if you put an embellishment in the center, this one could be really pretty too, be faster. But look at the layering on here. So you've got a lot of depth, and it makes for a very pretty snowflake with a lot of depth. And then this one has a lot of shading to it. This is the one that came right out of the designer series paper, and it's got the shading, so that helps give it depth as well. So this is like for a fast card. You just don't even have to stamp this snowflake, and then you can just cut it right out of the paper. So both of them are really nice and just a little bit different. So I hope you like that. If you like snowflakes, this is definitely a different type of snowflake to add to your collection. As soon as I saw it, I knew I was going to get it. But I didn't get it in my first batch of Christmas stuff because I don't want my snowflakes to happen until much closer till Christmas. So I don't want to bring them into my crafting space so soon. Like, when I got my first batch of stuff, it was August, but now I always had my eye on this particular bundle and suite because it is different, and I do like snowflakes. They are so pretty. All the different configurations that they come in, like how they are like built, and they're just so pretty, right? But the pine bough twist on it is very, very cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have enjoyed this live, make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Feel free to share my video with anyone you want. Give me a like, leave me a comment. I appreciate all those things. Thank you very much for being here today. And on that note, I am going to say hello to everyone who's with me live this morning and see if you have any questions for me. If you have questions, make sure you ask them before the live is over so that I can answer them right here on the video. So good morning to Valerie and Marge and T. Oh, it's nice to see some team members and some past team members because once you're a team member, you know, we form relationships and we're still in contact. So that's always very cool. Hello, Kim from Edmonton. Hello, Dee. Hello, Mary. Good morning to Tina. Oh, she said the rain was horrible in Massachusetts yesterday, but today is gorgeous. Yes, yesterday I was running low on the greens in my house. I don't know. I probably have mentioned this a lot, but I eat salads for lunch every single day, and I start to panic when my greens get low in my fridge, and so I had to go get my greens and my favorite yogurt that I have for breakfast. I was running low on those, and I looked outside and I thought, ew, this is gonna not be great to go grocery shopping in, but I had to go because Tuesday is my busiest day and it's very hard to do a quick run to the grocery store. And I know I could get grocery delivery, but that costs a little bit extra money and the grocery store is not too far away. So I headed out. I had my yellow rain jacket on. I had a big golf umbrella. And I still got a little wet, but at least my big golf umbrella helped protect the groceries and stuff to get them to the car and all of that. But it just, when I got right back inside, it just torrential. And then with the big golf umbrella, I had to dry off the seats when I got home. But you know what I'm really thankful for? I don't know if you're thankful for this, if you have one, but in our last house that we rented for 9 years, we did not have a garage. And we have a 2-car garage on this house. And every time it rains and I come back with groceries, I'm so thankful I can drive right in and take my groceries out without getting more wet. So yay, garages. I wasn't sure, there's a lot of older homes in Massachusetts that were built before cars were heavily used. And so it is very conceivable that not all homes have a garage here. Like the neighbors across the street from us, they each have like a 1-car garage. So that's just an example of how little cars were really, I guess there was just like one car per family back then, right? So, but now we have a 2-car garage, and that's like absolute luxury. So anyway, that's a total digression, and that's why I leave the comments to the end, because I get off on weird topics. But yes, it came down yesterday, and it came down hard. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Patsy from Missouri. And she says it's chilly and windy. Oh my goodness. Don't send that my way, please. Hello, Mary Ann. Hello, Christine. Hello, Donna from Ontario. We were just there for Thanksgiving. Hello. Oh, hey, Amy. I wish I'd seen your comment earlier, but she said, could I have flipped this snowflake over? I could have. I could have stamped on the reverse. That would have been a very easy solution, Amy. I need all of you in my craft room, and I need to read my comments while doing, but I do digress. Yes, I could have flipped this over and done the back side. That would have been much, much easier than die cutting again. But hey, at least I could show you can do it both ways. You can die cut first and then stamp, or you can stamp first and then die cut. So there we go. And yeah, this so sad to have water drip on my snowflake. But great comment, Amy. Hello, Candy. She says, very nice cards. Catherine says, such a lovely card. It's nice to see you on here, Catherine. T says, gorgeous cards. Jean says, hello from Maryland. And she got here very late, but she'll catch up. So for you latecomers, I know you're going to go and watch the video from the beginning, but I just wanted to remind everyone of the free shipping special that starts tomorrow for 3 days on orders of $75 or more. Don't miss out. If you're on my email list, you will get an email about it. But I just want to make sure that you know about it. Get your wish list ready and take advantage of the free shipping that is coming up. Tina said, absolutely gorgeous card. And she said she'll be doing this in a class. Oh, that's great. I'm glad I inspired that. You know, this is not a hard snowflake, right? Like you can definitely make lots of the snowflakes when you stamp with them, and it isn't that hard. You can make a multi-layered snowflake, or you can make a flat one, or you can cut it out of designer series paper. Lots of options. Marge says she loves the card, and she just received her Gathering Moments bundle, and oh, she's going to be trying this card with that. So Gathering Moments, that's the one I did my thank you cards, and that tutorial, I'm just going to grab one. That tutorial came out yesterday. These were my August thank you cards, because I am catching up with everything. These were my August thank you cards, and this is the Gathering Moments bundle, and I did the Twisted Easel card. So if you missed that yesterday, that wasn't a live tutorial, but that was just a pre-recorded video tutorial. But this is a very fun card using that Gathering Moments bundle and the matching paper. It is like so pretty. I did some blending on the leaves and some embossing, and so this is a very fun card if you want to give this a try. Just look back one day because it was released yesterday. And thank you to everyone who ordered from me in August. I'm working on my September thank you cards. I'm trying to get so that I'm not so far behind, but I am. It is only October, and now I'm getting all caught up. And but I had, thankfully to all of you who ordered from me in September, I had I think my best sales month ever in September. So that's why I have so many thank you cards to make. And so that's amazing. I'm happy problem to have. And I have the card I'm making right now. I'll let you know for those thank you cards. I am using the same bundle that we used today. And it's a fancy fold card. So you will see it soon. There will be a tutorial for it and a project sheet for those customers who ordered from me, and it will also be free for my team, or you can earn it free with a purchase if you would like that one. But that's coming up, not yet released. I have to still record that one, and I'm still making the cards right now. Hello Sherry, and hello Christine, and she says lovely cards. Mary Ann says she loves snowflakes too, and the designer series paper is so nice. Yeah, it's a little different, right? And I like having that variety. And look, do you notice that I matched my card to my shirt today? See all the lengths I went to? I was this morning I was bleary-eyed, and I'm like, what card did I make yesterday? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was kind of this color, so I pulled this color. This is kind of like Secret Sea and a little shaded spruce, isn't it? So it matched very well with the card. And Candy said she loves the Twisted Easel folds. Yeah, I do love fancy folds, but on Casing Tuesday, it's hard to turn the sketch into a fancy fold. So it is just a reminder, Casing Tuesday has been around. We've been doing it for many years. And the reason we've been doing it for so long is because it's very helpful to be able to have a starting point in the catalog. Every week it's a different card we pick, and we take that card and we make it over. And that is it is so helpful to have that. And you can do that with any card in the catalog. And that's why we do this. And it's an exercise, a practice in designing different layers of cards. It's just a good thing for your brain to do every single week. So that's why this is here. And you see, we remember the original card. Let's go look back to the original card. So this is the original card right here. And this is my card that we made today. They look very different, don't they? But they have kind of the same structure, the original structure. I didn't deviate too far from the original structure, maybe a little bit. My banners are a little higher, but my snowflake is also a little bit bigger. But there you go. I took a card that was in the catalog, and we made it over. And so you can do that too. Remember, we have a Facebook group that you can join in and post your card, leave comments for other people who post cards on there. So definitely go over there and check it out. And all the links I'm talking about, they're down below. All the supplies I used today, down below in the description of the video, or pop over to my blog post for more photos and all the things, all the links that you'll probably ever need to make this card. All right, I hope you all have a great week. I will be here on Friday with a 3D project for you. Not sure what I'm going to make yet, but it will be good. I'm sure it will be. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.